Alright, welcome back to another episode of Garage Party. Now, as you can tell, we're not in the garage, we're in my basement. I know my basement's probably creepy looking, but that's okay, because today is going to be another series type thing. This is going to be more like a mini series, if anything. I'm going to start showing you progress on my brother's motor, the Chevy Malibu, the 3.1 liter V6. I had brought it down here because like a few months ago, because it was cold and I wanted it to be warm, so I brought it down here. It was not easy. Big thanks to my mom for helping me get that down here. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on that. It's sitting right behind me, and I'll show you what we're gonna be doing today, and we'll just see how far we can get today. All right, so this is it. As you can see, I mean, it's a bare block. It does have the crank in it. If I can, I'm gonna actually retorque the crank bolts down, because now we actually have a dial gauge, so that way I can do them right, because they're supposed to be like maybe, I don't remember actually, like 33 something and then 77 degrees, and well, I didn't have the degree wheel, but now I do. During the series, it's going to be the buildup of the motor, and then I'm going to be fixing the exhaust system on that car, and then also when we stab it back in, and you know, when it's done. So it'll probably be a couple parts, maybe 10 at most. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Today we actually have over here, we've got these 4 pistons. The main thing for today is we're gonna be filing all the rings, making sure all the rings fit each one. I'll probably do all of them. I know, like, we still have 2 pistons left to actually put together, but my dad is gonna be doing that. Him and I will probably do that tomorrow. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on that. I'm gonna explain to you how you do that, show you the process of that, and hopefully get at least these 4 into there by the end of today. Alright, so in this magical box we have the old pistons, and I know most manuals and stuff will tell you what the ring gap should be and everything, or you could do it this way. As long as you don't break the ring trying to get it off, I'm gonna take, and well, luckily I've got a lot of options in case I do break one. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and see about getting all the rings off and test fitting them in the block itself, so that way I can get the proper ring gap and then file all the rest of them down to the actual specification. All right, so for those of you who don't know, the way you get the rings off, now they do technically sell a tool to do it. I'm not gonna do that here because I don't have that tool. So easiest thing to do is you grab the ring and you just slide it up and massage it all the way around, and it comes off just like so. You can do that with all of them. The oil ring is this bottom ring, which is the easiest one to do. It's got 2 little ones that go right on top of it, and then it has the actual one, but I'll get that out, once you can get one out, you can get the rest of them out. It's really easy. Like on this one, I'm gonna be, well, like if you do anything like this, rebuild or whatever, or if you're freshening it up and doing all the bearings and stuff, you do the rings as well, because you might as well. And now you don't always have to do new piston heads like we did. Like actually in the Ranger, I rebuilt that one, and it's got the old ones. I just cleaned them up. I cleaned all the grooves up. I know you can do that and get away with it, and it's okay, as long as they don't have any damage like how this one does. As long as you just take care of it and everything is okay. And also, like here on the skirt, it's all like, but we knew we were gonna be replacing these, so that's why these are all chewed up and we don't care about them. They are just now scrap metal. But yeah, so that's how you just that's how you take them off. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to test fit this and use a feeler gauge to check the gap and all that, and then we'll get into actually filing the new ones down. Alright, so you have the ring in there. You just kind of like you can put it in here, and then you just flatten it down as best you can. To make sure that it is even, is you take said piston. This is cylinder 5, and this is the number 5 piston. You do this for all of them every time you put it in, just to make sure you get the gaps right. But honestly, I think you would be able just to do one and file them all the rest of the way. It's just as long as they're within all the same specs, and it should be fine. But put that, bad boy in there, and you just give it a little something, just so that way when you get to it, it's all, nice and even in the cylinder wall. Then you can take your feeler gauge. I got this one set up at 0.60 millimeters, and then you just stick that. It's kind of hard to see, but you put it in the groove, and as long as it fits nicely, it'll have a little bit of resistance, then you'll know that that is in spec range. You can adjust as you need to, but yeah, just go through it, check each one, make sure that you find one that, like I said, gives a little bit of resistance, but not, not anything intense, because it's better to be a little over than under, to my knowledge, for these, because then it's better for oiling and stuff. It's best if you're, as close as you possibly can be. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what the final gap is in this, and then we'll go ahead and start getting those put in and filed down. Alright, so once again, sorry for background noise, it's the furnace. So yeah, I got it figured out. It is 50 millimeters plus, 0.50 millimeters plus 0.6 millimeters, which ends up being 1.10 millimeters to actually have this proper gap. Now this is, I actually don't know if this is a pretty large gap. It might be. I'd have to learn more about what other, motors and blocks take and everything, but this is a 1.10 millimeter gap. So we're gonna go ahead and get the ring that I'm gonna put in here, set it up, where I'll show you, how that's gonna fit and how much you actually have to file down to have the proper specification. So here we are. It's kind of hard to see, but if it would focus on the actual ring itself, there it goes. It's really close. Now, this one has been filed a little bit, but most of them end up overlapping, so you do take a lot out. If you do this, you still want to be careful, because you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to go too short, you don't want to go too far over and everything. You want it as close as possible as you can. And so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take this one out now. You put this one in, the same way you put the other one in, with the piston and everything. Make it as even as you can. Typically, if it's really close, you do want to take the measurement of how much of a gap is there, so you know how much you have to file off. But you can already see that this is a significantly smaller gap than what the other one is, so you might as well just start to file it, and take your time, take it easy, and then once it's fully filed, then you'll have an actual good end result. All right, so as you saw, there's probably a small time lapse. I set this up in the vise. You can get these at Menards. At just Master Force. This one's a 10-inch. We also have an 8-inch. You get one for, well, you want a metal file, so that's what this is. And one tip that you can do, now the new rings are a little different than the old ones. They're a little thicker and they're a little bit stiffer, and that's probably because they are brand new. And they're also like a little bit wider in the outside diameter. But one little tip is you can line them up as best as you can. As you can kind of see, the old one is in more than this one, so it's not always going to be the most reliable thing to go off of, but it's then you can at least get an idea of how far the gap needs to be when they're out of the block. So now you probably saw I filed this for like 5 seconds, and now we're going to go test fit it in the block, and we're going to see how close we are to perfection. Alright, so as you can see by my sweatshirt, it is a different day now. It's actually, I don't know, like 5 days later. I don't know. And so in that time, I'll have a whole other video later on, maybe this week. Some stuff with the S4, some stuff with my truck, and I think that's about it. But yeah, so I hopped back on this today, and we're gonna in this video is just gonna be about the piston rings and putting those in. Now, as you saw, I filed these all down to spec to where they're supposed to be. But yeah, so what I'm going to show you now is I have 1 through 5 all done. All the rings are on, compression, the middle one that I can't remember, and the bottom one, the oil ring. All those have them on. This one has just the oil rings on, and so I just wanted to kind of demonstrate how, without a tool, how to get the rings on, which it's pretty simple. I mean, it's very simple. Anyone can do it. It's kind of child's play. But you take the ring, so you want the correct ring. So this one here, it actually has a little dot. I don't know if it'll show. Yeah, you can kind of see it, but it has a little dot in it. That signifies that's the top of the ring. Not all of them will have that. A lot of ring sets do come with like tips like this to show, what is the top. For the very top compression ring, that doesn't have that, at least not on this set. So it can go either way and it doesn't matter. But these ones, they do matter. So make sure the dot's at the top if you have a dot. And then you just kind of get your piston and you kind of just slide it. You open it a little bit yourself, because I mean, the tool that's made is just to open it. And then you just carefully walk it down. You want to be careful because you don't really want to scratch the head of the piston or anything, or put any grooves that aren't needed in it. And then there you go, just kind of like that. And it will move a lot because, well, it's not in it's not in the bore yet. So, but yeah, you can kind of push it together, see where your gap's going to be. I'll show you again with this one in case I didn't do that good of a job showing the first time. But yeah, so you just take it, you just set it there, you just kind of, not fold it, but massage it down, and it does expand on its own. And then once you get to here, you can kind of pull and set it in the groove. And you kind of do that at both ends first before you slide the back of it down. But even at that, sometimes the back just kind of falls in, just like that. So there we have the piston ready to go in the motor. Alright, so I do hope you guys enjoyed. Like with the last video, I'm hoping to do the audio the same way. I never got any bad feedback on it. I do hope it was louder, because I went back and I watched one of them and I noticed it was really quiet. So I'm hoping that the last one and this one are going to be a bit louder. I just hope the quality gets better. And especially, like I've said in past videos, once I can start to save up some money, get an actual computer, an actual camera, and an actual microphone, then hopefully the audio will be even, it'll be crisp, it'll be nice, and then you'll stop watching because you realize you don't like how I sound. But that being said, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want, like, comment, subscribe, put notifications on if you're that interested yet. And even if you want to, you can make a second account and subscribe again, just to, boost it. But that's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. So, yeah, we'll see you next time.